Welcome back, YouTube. Left-Wing Zero here with another battle from the 2014 International Challenge from this month. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, I had a very good time with this tournament. We ended up 38-22, very good record. We're in the top 175 players in the United States. Very happy with that. My opponent is bringing out Rotom and Mawile, and I'm going to start with my standard set for the whole tournament, Chandelure Amoonguss, which normally my strategy revolves along rage powering attention away from Chandelure so he gets off a free Trick Room. But I see Mawile here and I get kind of tempted. I know obviously Mawile is very weak to fire and he's also a very slow Pokemon. So even if he does get a Sucker Punch off on me, it's not going to KO me because of my Focus Sash. So I do get Amoonguss off, to rage powered off to get attention brought away, which the Thunder Wave then goes on to Amoonguss instead of Chandelure, which in turn helps me get this Heat Wave off. And I do get the Heat Wave off on both Pokemon, even though it's not a really high percentage move all the time. It misses more than you'd like, but I do get a free KO off of Mawile, which could hurt me for the rest of the battle. Instead of going with the Trick Room, I do want to get the free KO off of those Mega Pokemon, so that does help me for the time being. It does send out Garchomp, which Amoonguss is then paralyzed. I try to go for Rage Powder again, which I don't know why I did, honestly, because usually Garchomp has spread attacks with Earthquake and Rock Slide, although the only reason I probably did it was to try to avoid a Hydro Pump, which that does go off onto Chandelure, so they did Focus Fire my Chandelure to feint it before I had a chance to Trick Room off. So now I'm in kind of a bind, and my whole strategy revolves around getting Trick Room off successfully and the opponent going last, so I get spread attacks off to really hurt the team. Especially in this situation, Abomasnow would be great under Trick Room. Would really be trouble for Garchomp. So I still Mega Evolve here. I really want to go for an Ice Shard on the Garchomp. I know it takes about 80% off of its health, being 4 times weak to Ice, even though it's such a weak attack. But he does protect this turn, which is going to negate my Ice Shard going off. And then plus Rotom does get the Will-O-Wisp off, so now I'm even more of a bind because now I'm burned, so my Ice Shard will be pretty much useless. So, and my Amoonguss is paralyzed, which I was going to try to get off a Spore to put Garchomp to sleep. So now I'm in more of a bind. I think of what I can do to work around this. I have no attack power with Abomasnow. My Amoonguss is paralyzed. So again, I'm really relying on RNG right here. My Abomasnow, I'm going to have him protect right now because I need to really get this Garchomp out of the game right now. It does get Rock Slide off, which is going to hurt my Amoonguss. My Abomasnow protects. Rotom does get Thunderbolt off, but I'm protected. I finally get Spore off from Garchomp. I got lucky it didn't flinch from the Rock Slide, and I was paralyzed. I still got the attack off. So now when you get our round of hail damage off and burn damage on Abomasnow. And now I'm in a little bit of a better position now because Garchomp is asleep. Rotom really isn't a threat to me as none of his attacks can really do anything to either of my Pokemon that damaging. I'm really just worried about the Garchomp because even though his attacks really can't do much to my Pokemon, it could still hurt in the long run because of his high attack power. So a Hydro Pump doesn't really do anything to me. I get Blizzard off, which that'll easily feint Garchomp. And then instead of putting Rotom to sleep here, want to get some damage off on him to get him out of the game, I go to Giga Drain, which takes him down to about 15-20% health and gets me some more health back to absorb more damage throughout the battle. And again, we're going through another round of hail damage and burn damage. And he reveals his final Pokemon, which is going to be Salamence. And now it's going to be pretty much the same thing. And now I thought my opponent here was going to predict my situation of what just happened, being I just basically protected and put his dragon to sleep in order for me to get Blizzard off. So I figured my opponent would have tried something different, but I'm a little desperate here, so I have to go for the same thing again. So it does go for Fire Blast, but I did protect, and he actually tried to double Focus Fire my Abomasnow, so I get a free Spore off onto Salamence to put him to sleep. Now, Pokemon's usually a game of not being a one-trick pony, where usually you try the same thing once, great. If you try to do it again, I mean, usually you're not going to be able to do it again. The opponent usually catches on. In this case, my opponent didn't catch on, so I really took advantage of this. And now Salamence is asleep. have a very good chance to get off another Blizzard to KO the Salamence. So now I use Rage Powder out of play. It's very safe. I want to make sure all the attacks go towards Amoonguss, just in case Salamence wakes up and gets a Fire Blast off. I want to make sure Amoonguss faints and Abomasnow. It does get a Hydro Pump off on Amoonguss, which is going to do nothing. And then I get my Blizzard off, which will easily KO the Salamence, but will not KO the Rotom. Rotom is very strong against ice attacks, even from Abomasnow with Blizzard. It still doesn't do much damage. The Hail does end this turn, and the opponent sees now that it's just mainly a very, very weak Rotom versus 3 of my Pokemon, so he very wisely is going to forfeit the match. So it's very interesting. I mean, I very could have well lost this match. I mean, when Trick Room doesn't go off, it's very hard for a Trick Room team to win, because a lot of it, your team is based off of them going faster than your team with Trick Room up. And usually my strategy for this whole challenge was to focus with Chandelure and Abomasnow, focusing on their Heat Wave and Blizzard attacks to spread damage throughout their whole team, with Amoonguss supporting with Rage Powder and Spore and Giga Drain on the side. And Rhyperior didn't even get to have a chance to see the light of this battle, but he was a very powerful force for my team, which I'll show in future battles. Rhyperior does do a lot of damage for me, does help my team out a lot. So very good battle again, and we will look for another great battle to come. I have a couple nice battles in store, so let's look forward to those. Try to get 10 likes for this video, and we'll try to shoot for another video relatively quickly. Have a happy Memorial Day, everyone.